Hello everyone, very warm welcome to Brahma Kumaris, Silicon Valley, to the Heal Thyself monthly series. Today is the third class. We'll continue our discussions on what causes wounds and how do we start healing our own self by using the inner GPS. So first, let's get started with the guided meditation. Request you all to join me. It's that wonderful time of the day where I get to be in my own wonderful company. I deserve my own time, care, love, because I am worthy of my love, worthy of God's love, and worthy of everyone's love. Love is the ointment that heals all wounds. It gives you the power to withstand any kind of pain. Our heart desires love. Who is going to give us that love? That pure, genuine, selfless love. Authentic love. There's a lot of artificial, selfish love in this world, loaded with expectations. That doesn't satisfy us. God is the only being who's completely selfless. His every thought, every word, and every action is for others. He doesn't need anything. He's ever complete, ever pure, ever abundant. And that is why open-heartedly accepts everyone as they are, without any conditions. And when we come face to face with God, the one who doesn't want anything, the one who has no conditions, our heart melts and we give ourselves to Him. Without any expectations, any demands, He wins our heart. automatically everyone gravitates towards because he wants nothing. His desire is for everyone to be happy, for everyone to be liberated from sorrow. How do we become like him? God awakens us and says, "You are already like me." Your heart is clean like mine. When you think of yourself as a spiritual being, a child of God, and you have no desires, no expectations, no selfish motives. It's the wrong identity of seeing the self as a body, physical being that causes many desires, expectations. There is a natural sense of security, considering the self as a spiritual being, because there is equality in the spiritual dimension. Nobody is better or worse than me in the spiritual dimension. So there is genuine, natural love. The more we anchor to our reality of being a spiritual being, child of God, the easier it is to keep our heart clean, genuine, without any desires. The real me is authentic me, nothing to hide. I have no hidden agenda, no desires. Don't need anything to make me prettier. Totally secure that nothing of mine can be touched. Ever safe, ever healthy. Very warm welcome, everyone, to class number 3, Heal Thyself. Today, the topic we will cover is knowing thyself leads to healing thyself. So that is what we will cover in today's class. But before we do that, let's do a quick recap from last class. If anybody would like to share some points that they recollect from the class number 2 or on the chat, that would be great. Anybody who remembers what we discussed? Soul does not create thoughts. Yes. Removing the thoughts. Thinking about the past. Yes. So it's accept. Mind is creating thousands of thoughts. Yes. It's important to realize that there is already a big recording in the mind. There is a script that is playing, and soul is the silent witness. Very nice. Very nice. This was indeed one of the key points that we talked about. So both dual kind of thoughts are constantly emerging in the mind. Very important to acknowledge that, because at least in the past for Meghna, that was a huge pain point. How come, Meghna created such a bad thought? Or, oh man, Meghna created such a good thought, right? So happy when the good thought is created, sad when the bad thought is created. And this constant fluctuation in Meghna's inner state. The moment we understand our truth that these thoughts are not my creation, they are part of the script in the mind, they will keep popping up. And yes, indeed, in this today's class and the next class, we will talk about how do I take care of these thoughts, right? The one that I'm not creating, but they keep emerging. What do I do with it, right? So we will talk about that more. So, negative and wasteful thoughts wound thyself, and positive thoughts heal thyself. We talked about that. Light of knowledge helps in transforming the negative thoughts to positive. To yes, to some extent, we can continue to use the knowledge to keep changing the thoughts. But mind is such a busy factory, such a fast production occurs that sometimes we are not able to keep up with it. We are not able to constantly catch all the thoughts and convert them into positive, and sometimes those negative thoughts are like enormous storms. They just carry us away with them. So sometimes that becomes difficult. We need some other options as well. Most important is this ignorant mind which has duality script. I can't use that as my guiding light, my North Star. It can't guide me. This ignorant mind that is constantly swaying, I can't use that to move myself towards healing. So we have to come up with some other options. So let's continue today's class. Feel free to raise your hand or put your question, thoughts on chat at any moment throughout the class. And we will take care of your questions or comments. So we will continue to shine light and go deeper and deeper so that these wounds that exist within us, they get completely healed. First is that it's important to recognize that the real wound, at least for Meghna, one of the biggest wound was the unanswered question. Life throws at us many situations, people, and at times they are very disturbing, sudden, chaotic, unexplained for. And the biggest wound is really that unanswered question. And that those questions actually create wounds, and they also intensify. They make those wounds bigger and deeper. So let's try to understand this a bit more, right? So the real wound is the unanswered question. So what is that unanswered question? Why me? Why did this happen to me? That could be like, why did I make that mistake? Why me? Why did I have to make that mistake? Or why me? Why did I get these kind of relatives? Why me? Why did I get this kind of people at work? Why me? Why did I get into this kind of company, this kind of group? Why me? Why did I get these kind of friends who disturb me, who judge me? So this question, why me, when we don't answer it, The head keeps posing that question. So this is not the physical brain and the physical heart. We are talking about the soul's head, which is the intellect or the mind, and the heart of the soul. So the more the questions are coming, the heart is now sulking. It is in tears. Then some other situation comes, or maybe the same situation, I still don't have the answer. Somebody was extremely mean to me. I don't understand why. So I'm getting maybe disheartened, and maybe at times I'm getting very angry. More situations come. I keep asking the question, why me? More emotions are emerging in the heart. So look at the picture of the inner space of the soul, full of questions and full of disturbing emotions. And the soul's true nature, love and joy, they're all becoming smaller, as if they don't exist anymore. It feels like it is so difficult to be happy, so difficult to feel love for anyone. Well, because why me? Why so many things happen to me? So when there are these disturbing emotions with these disturbing questions, then our true nature as if becomes dormant, non-existent. Very important to understand that the head and heart are interconnected. These feelings could emerge the questions could emerge the emotions, and so on. They are all cyclical. So every time these questions arise, we rely generally on our ignorant mind for answers. Who are we looking for answers? Our ignorant mind. So this mind will either not answer the question, it will not have any answer, or it will give an inaccurate answer, spiritually uninformed answer, very limited answer. Without looking at the bigger picture, the mind gives us an inaccurate, ignorant answer that doesn't heal the wound. In fact, it intensifies it. So the real wound is why someone took away my joy, my peace, my love, my respect. Why did they do this to me? Why did life do this to me? So this creates a big wound, and we need to be aware of it. And as we shine more light and take our journey in this spiritual path, we get more answers, more clarity. So why me question can be answered even through knowledge. And for me at Brahma Kumaris, in the beginning, these answers really helped. Why me? Nobody in this world can say I've not had a situation where I had the question, why me? We've all felt at one point or the other, this was unfair. I didn't deserve this. This shouldn't have happened. This darkness can be removed when we understand to make me light by settling the karmic accounts. So spirituality, the one that is looking at the bigger picture, it has a bigger, deeper map. It answers the question. Limited worldly knowledge says this world is unfair, people are unfair, all kinds of bad things happen to good people. That is the worldly knowledge. It doesn't heal us, it disturbs us even more. Whereas the right knowledge immediately has a soothing effect. That was my experience when I started listening to this knowledge. I had tears of joy because finally I had answers to the questions, that everything that is occurring is wonderful. It is such a fantastic way for the soul to become light. So if you are financially in heavy debt, and somehow now you're able to clear that debt because whatever method you found money, you're now able to clear it, you feel a lightness that, man, I don't have that heavy burden of that financial loan on me anymore. It's the same thing. Soul has a lot of depths with many different souls and Mother Nature. So when we get these tough situations, either in the form of body health issues, relation issue, work issue, financial issues, they're all means for us to get rid of those burdens we've accumulated in our many, many lives. Another way to think about it is this is to help me realize my true potential. It's only during challenges, we've all heard, that we go inwards to unleash that resource, that tool, that virtue, that power that will help us get out of that situation. And it also becomes a great opportunity for us to let go of those inner weaknesses that are causing these problems. So, this light of knowledge answers the question in a much more deeper manner, and it starts healing the wound instead of creating wound by saying, why me? Now, another important point to understand, right? This why me will become more and more clearer as we go through that. That was one of the options, to think about answering the question, why me? Rather than that usual blame. Oh, everybody is against me. I am the poor one, feeling self pity. That doesn't heal the wound. So, the previous slide we talked about karma, or to strengthen our own self, or to remove the weaknesses. Those answers help in healing. But to go even more deeper, we need to understand that when we look at the soul's mind, then we will see it has many scripted stories. Like we talked about in last week's class, the mind is constantly emerging thoughts. You can call it like a popcorn that keeps popping, right? It keeps popping thoughts. Now, where are these thoughts, right? Like, what is the script that exists in our mind? So, this script exists in the form of many, many identities that exist. I am an engineer, and based on that identity, thoughts emerge. Now, for an engineer, there could be so many different types of thoughts. When I think of myself as an engineer, then most likely I'll start thinking about maybe where I'm working, or what kind of a college I went to, who I had as friends there, at work, who are my people, what are my situations. And one of the thought related to that profession could be, my idea was neglected. Maybe I presented an idea and it was neglected. Somebody else's idea was appreciated. Maybe that now causes me to feel this emotion. So, this identity of me being an engineer is causing me to create this limited thought, and that limited thought is causing me to create this limited emotion, maybe anger. Then there could be another identity I'm attached to, and that identity could be, I'm a chef. My recipes are to die for. Maybe we are playing many roles, and we have so many identities in our mind. These identities are all very limited. So now, related to this chef, there could be like, oh, I need to buy these recipe books, I need to go and create a blog, I need to call people and cook. I know everybody will praise my. So all of these thoughts are falling in line with this identity of chef. Now, when I create my recipes are to die for, I feel joy. Look at the duality of the script in the mind. Based on your identity at that moment, what are you thinking of yourself as? Thoughts based on that identity, they start popping, and each thought then generates emotions. And like that, we have so many such identities. Some of them are highlighted with this yellow, extra yellow, meaning I might be more attached to certain identities than others. Maybe I'm not so attached to this, um, identity of being a chef, or identity of being a wife. So many such identities we are attached to. And each of these identities are producing thoughts. For example, relationship. I'm a wife. My husband doesn't love me. Immediately that will create tears in me. I see a raised hand. Yeah, feel free to unmute yourself and ask your question. Or share. Daksha, I think you had a question. You raised your hand. Go ahead and unmute.
Yes. Sorry, Meghna Ben, it was an accident. The kids were kind of playing with over here and they accidentally did it.
Oh, no problem. No problem.
Okay.
Yeah. So, if you think about this, right? I think about this thought, my hubby doesn't love me. There are tears. My sanskaras, my traits. Oh, I am kind, but also I'm timid and lazy. My traits aren't great. I am disheartened. Then there could be a spiritual ego. I'm a meditation practitioner. My efforts are sincere. I feel a lot of love for myself. I like soft music, based on sensation, thinking of yourself as the body. My ears can't stand loud noises. I get very irritated. Every time there are loud noises, I get irritated. My body is flawless. I'm tall and skinny. Feel a lot of love for myself. Look at how each identity is causing many thoughts in the mind to emerge, and each of these thoughts sometimes creating good emotions, sometimes creating not so good emotions. And it's not just like, one identity has only one thought, doer, like the doer is one. I'm a doer. Each one of us, instead of being human beings, we are human doings. We are constantly wanting to do something or the other. I have done so much. My way of doing is better. And I feel joy that, man, my methods are always right. And then this doer actually has so many, it has a gazillion thoughts related to this doer personality. What are those thoughts? Why am I taking so much time? I will be recognized for my work. My task always has many hurdles. I organize my work so well. So look at the duality of the thoughts related to the doer identity. Some are dark, some are good. Now, based on this thoughts quality, I will either feel good emotion or I will feel some negative emotion. So it's important to recognize that there is a script in the mind that is constantly running, and that script is based on the journey I have taken in my life, based on my religion, my gender, all the things that happened, right, in this birth, previous birth. Based on that, I have a strong personality or thinking about who I am. Now, till I am in this physical realm, knowing myself as this physical being with so many physical identities, there will be this duality in thoughts, which means duality in emotions. There is no escaping. But in my deepest layer of the mind, there is also an experience of constant joy, constant peace, constant love, non dual experience. That is the one that we are trying to get to, right? This is highlighted with this star, and we will get deeper into understanding that. So, know that the scripted stories in the mind exist. In each one of us, there are gazillion stories in the form of thoughts and feelings that are existent in the mind, and they keep emerging. Some of them we are able to see, some of them they keep popping at such a fast pace that we are not seeing them, right? So, egoistic identities will emerge, dual types of thoughts, healed and wounded. My husband doesn't love me. Wounded, you feel wounded. How did that thought come? Because I thought of myself as a wife. I'm a doer. My way of doing things is better. Healed. You feel good because you are attesting your potential. You're saying you're a great doer. You do great things. So then you feel healed. So the important thing to ask ourselves is, do I want to rewrite my story? Where is this story occurring? Indeed, it is in the mind, but we need to understand that this planet Earth is the theater where a big world drama is being enacted by 8 billion souls. And The current script that is emerging in the mind is only creating more wounds based on other actors' scripts or events. Why did they have to say this to me? Both the person here are thinking, they shouldn't have said this to me. They shouldn't have said this to me. We can keep, getting stuck in this limited story of two actors. They said this, I said this, I shouldn't have said that, they shouldn't have said that. And we can continue and then patch up and say, okay, let's not be like that. Let's be nicer to each other, patch up, and then again go back, return to the same story. So if I want to rewrite my story, I need to change the way I am leading my own life. So this, where we are very reactive, dependent on others, it makes our script either sad or mad. We feel either very disheartened that how come I end up with people like this who don't recognize me, or who take advantage of me, or who are mean to me, or who are ungrateful, all of these things, right? So how do I transform my role? How do I change my script? Question for all of you: what can we do to change the dual nature of thoughts in the mind? What are some options? If you could share your responses on the chat. Be soul conscious and enjoy the drama. Okay. What does soul conscious mean? Because we use this word a lot. What does it mean to be soul conscious? Let's expand it. Acceptance. Okay. What am I accepting here? By acceptance, will the duality in the thoughts change? So we are trying to figure out, right now my script has duality, right? Mind is constantly emerging, sometimes good, sometimes bad thoughts. What can I do? What is under my control? Very good. Okay, in the simple terms, soul conscious means I'm not the body. Okay, understanding that we are just souls and this is just the body. Yeah. If we can go even more deeper to understand what it means to be soul conscious, right? That's when we can actually um, change the script that emerges in the mind. Right now, the mind script is healed and wounded thoughts. Both are emerging. So, what does it mean to be soul conscious? We will try to go deeper into it. Indeed, the answer is right. Awareness of the true identity emerges non dual thoughts in the mind. These thoughts are aligned with the self's true nature, because soul's nature is not sometimes happy, sometimes sad. Soul's nature is not selfishness. Soul's nature is not to feel insecure. That is not soul's nature. So, soul consciousness means to completely understand who I am and who I am not. Body's nature is constant change. And because all our identities are related to the body, whether you think of yourself as a relative, a role you're playing, the body, the gender, the nationality, all of this is associated with the physical bodily aspect of your existence. And anything related to body is changeable, perishable. And that is why the thoughts also constantly change, perish, change, perish. So that is why God comes and teaches us the most fantastic method to change the script in the mind. And you can't literally go inside of your mind and change it, but He teaches the most powerful method is your awareness of who you are. And the more you are aware and you're observing the constant nature of how the body, the sensations in the body, the roles, the people's mood, the thoughts and emotions and feelings, how they are constantly changing in this matter world, the more you are able to observe all of that and say, this is not me, this is not mine, your mind script will start changing. So we will go a bit deeper into understanding this. And that we do by understanding your true potential, the power of self-connection. So knowing your true self, that is what we will do. We've talked about this a lot, but every time in every class, we try to bring out a different angle of who I am. It just can't be I'm a soul and I'm not the body. We have to, that is a very high level. That doesn't help in practically imbibing this knowledge and changing the script. I need to understand what it means to be a soul and what it means to be a body very deeply with full clarity. So, first of all, soul is silence, meaning soul doesn't even have any thoughts. Mind is a tool, a subtle organ of the soul. And in the mind, there are scripted thoughts, feelings, emotions, personality traits, everything recorded in the mind. And why are they recorded? So that the soul can play a role, experience its own beauty in this world drama. Imagine if none of us had thoughts, none of us had any feelings, would this world drama run? I can't speak. If I don't have thoughts, I can't speak. If I don't have feelings, I can't emote. I can't make any decisions. So, yes, the soul needs these subtle organs, the mind, the heart, the subconscious mind, the conscious mind, the intellect. All of these are needed to play a role in this world drama. But soul itself is silence. Silence means thoughtless. And this silence is not like a dry silence, boring silence. It's a very rich silence. It has an embodiment of peace, love, and joy, true innate nature of the soul. And that is why soul is so silent. It needs nothing from this world to feel its beauty. It is already beautiful. Like sun needs nothing to be warm, to be bright. It is self-sufficient. Its properties can be felt by everyone. Similarly, when I come into my true identity, every soul is bound to feel peace, love, and joy from me, just like the sun can exhibits its warmth and light. When the soul is ignited, people around it will feel its true silence. And my reference point has to be the Supreme. Supreme is the only one that is always joy, always peace, always love. There's not a moment when Supreme's mind or heart fluctuate or have a doubt. Always stable, right? And I can't use the scripted stories in the mind as my reference point, because one day the scripted mind will tell, what about one day why? One minute the scripted mind is telling Meghna, you are so nice, you are wonderful, you are so kind. Next minute it will tell me, Meghna, you're not so nice, you are rude, you're mean. Again after an hour it'll say, you are so nice. I can't use that mind to understand who I am and who I am not. But it is very important to understand everything that the mind is telling is not true. It only gives us a limited understanding of who I am. So if I want to know who I am, I have to look at the Supreme. It is very important. And one of the easiest way to experience the full potential of who I am is in silence. Silence has so much power. It is an opportunity to sit in your own company and be liberated from all the sorrows we've accumulated over multiple births in this long journey of life. And it is in this silence that we get full clarity on what are the right steps to move towards healing. So, meditation basically means to be your truth, silence, and observe every feeling from a distance. What does it mean, observing everything from a distance? Meaning, it is not my thought, it is not my feeling. I didn't create a guilty thought, I did not create a self pity thought. Those thoughts will keep emerging because for ages we've identified ourselves incorrectly. The moment I think of myself as Meghna, the mother, those thoughts of pride will come. Man, my child is so good. The thoughts of disheartenment will come. Man, my child never changes. When will they change? But as those thoughts and feelings emerge, let me not have a sense of ownership that, man, I created that thought, or I created that good thought, I created that bad thought. Why did I do it? Just be aware that we've practiced being in the wrong identity for such a long time that these thoughts are now coming with a very fast pace. So when we don't have any ownership or belongingness to those thoughts and feelings and those limited identities, then the effort to, tolerate those disturbing thoughts comes. They will not bother us because I'm not it. I'm not the guilt that this thought is creating. I'm not that mean person that this thought and feeling is creating. I am separate. I have a lot of distance between myself and those thoughts and feelings. How do I accumulate silence power in meditation? Anybody would like to share? How can we accumulate silence power in meditation? Regular organized practice, yes. By redirecting our thoughts, practice, absolutely, yeah, practice is a must. And in the beginning, we might not be able to relate to silence and what it means. But as we practice, slowly as we move, we start, first of all, transforming those negative and wasteful into positive thoughts. And soon, once we've been able to do that, we will also be able to observe that those positive thoughts are also not mine. Negative thoughts are not mine. I'm a silent being by observing. Very good. And this was a very powerful technique that I've been taught, and I find it is so basic. It is so basic, but the more you hold on to these three simple steps, the more silence you will feel inside of you. So first step is really to hold on to that thought, that Om Shanti that we say, right? The greeting is Brahma Kumaris, Om Shanti. Om means I am. Shanti means peace. I am peace. That thought, hold on to it. Your mind will keep creating all kinds of, tuspy-torby things. Just observe those thoughts, not your creation. You're just stabilized in one awareness of who you are. I am peace. I am silence. I am love. I am joy. It is a fact. And experiment with this. You will see that truth has so much power and magic in it. The essence of that awareness, of that truth, will release its beauty into your consciousness. And you'll start seeing within few days that silence is calling you, that love is calling you. It feels like something is pulling me inwards. That's how Meghna's experience was. It was an extremely chaotic, busy day, and there was this inner silence that kept pulling me. And I would keep asking, why are you not getting worked up? There's so much to do. Because old Meghna would get worked up all over, and suddenly she wouldn't. There's this deep silence that kept pulling her. That you are silence, that you are peace. And the more I stayed intoxicated, it didn't mean I left that work. It didn't mean I neglected it. I delayed it, procrastinated, nothing. I got everything done in a very organized, peaceful manner. Second step is surrender. This is very important that as you're trying to educate and coach your mind, the monkey mind, it will become violent. It will become wilder, meaning more thoughts will emerge. Suddenly, when you let those thoughts keep popping, you're not doing anything about it, they're not that strong and violent. But the one who is wanting to go back to their truth, that is when this mind becomes wilder. So, as those waste and ordinary thoughts emerge, surrender it to the Supreme. We call the Supreme as Baba, and I will say, hey, Baba, please keep it with you, your mind. You take care of it. I don't want that thought. You keep it. I didn't create it. You keep it. It is your mind. I am peace. I am silence. I am like you. I want your mind, Baba. You take all of these thoughts. I don't want them. How come your mind is so pure and clean? How come my mind is not? Take all of these thoughts, right? So surrender it. Don't own it. Don't get disturbed. Oh, you can never meditate. Your thoughts are like this. You will never change. Believe me, stay determined in this practice, and this practice is very, very rewarding. All you need is that power to tolerate that monkey mind, which will not let you peacefully practice meditation. Tolerate it. That tolerance will give you huge rewards because that monkey mind will get tamed. It will start becoming silent, and more silent. Then the third step is practice. Like many of you said, practice. Return back again and again to who are you? Make a schedule. When all will you practice, I am silence, I am peace, I am joy. It could be before starting your car, driving your car to any place. It could be before sleeping. Obviously, first thing in the morning you should always do for a longer time, but throughout the day create those pockets of time before drinking water, before cleaning the dishes, before doing the laundry, before cooking anything. This is something that I will practice. So healing really begins when misidentifying the self ends. So when the soul is awakened by the Supreme to the variety of experiences locked up inside of mind, so Supreme comes and tells the soul that in your mind there are these scripted stories in the form of many experiences. They're all locked up inside of you. Awaken to it, realize it. And Supreme tells the soul, you are separate from your mind. Create this distance, this boundary. You are not your mind or whatever those thoughts are telling. They seem so real. Thought will say you're good Meghna, you're bad Meghna, you always get things delayed, or you're always good at this. So many different stories and ideas about who I am the mind has. But none of it is mine. None of it is the complete truth. So I am separate from the mind, and also I am the master of the mind. Mind is mine. Mind belongs to me. I don't belong to the mind. Meaning I have a sense of ownership. I have a sense of command and control over the mind because I'm the master and the mind is the server. And when we shine light upon our true identity, that I am a soul, I am silence, I'm not any of this. Mind will say, oh, Meghna, your relative is doing this. How can you ignore? You should look at it. But I put my true identity. True identity is my innate nature of peace, love, and joy. When I keep shining light upon who I am by staying connected to my reference point, the Supreme, all of those changeable identities, they start dissolving. And when the identities dissolve, the scripted dual thoughts related to those identities, they also start dissolving. This is huge power. So we are coming close to the end of the class. I want to see if anybody has any questions, any thoughts, ideas that they would like to share. Please raise your hand or put them on the chat. No questions? All right. Since we have time, maybe we can go through one more slide, and then we will call it a day. Um, so critical to separate the self from the mind. This is very, very critical. And this is just what we have talked about. Why is it very critical to separate the self from the mind? Because if I identify myself with a good thought, like maybe very good thought came about helping someone, and then I start thinking, man, I'm so helpful, I'm so kind, and then another thought came, no, this one don't help, they've always been mean to you. Then you'll feel bad, why am I thinking like that? I should always be helpful, I'm in the spiritual path, I shouldn't have created that thought. No, you have not created the good thought, you've not created the bad thought. The scripted mind is popping thoughts, they will keep emerging. I have to create a distance. Otherwise, my feelings, emotions will keep changing. In good, I will say good. In bad, I will say I'll start blaming myself or blaming someone else. So, very important to separate. You are not your thoughts, you are not your emotions, you are the container for those experiences, you are their witness. Hold space for them, allow them to be without judgment. Never feel I created this emotion of jealousy, I created this emotion of anger. Yes, because these emotions are emerging from you and they can come into action and cause pain to you or others. I have to be vigilant. I have to keep watching. But I watch it from my true space, from my true nature, not with the sense of owning it or having a lot of interest in it. With full detachment, meaning I don't own anything that is inside of this container, right? So we are generally searching for ourselves, in these experiences that we are having. Like, because the soul's nature is peace, love, and joy, we are trying to search for that nature everywhere. We're trying to search it in sensory organs, right? Oh my gosh, that ice cream was so yummy. I'm feeling so happy. So we're trying to search for who we are in different experiences, through different experiences. I had so much fun with my relative. I felt so much love. We're trying to again look for ourselves through these experiences. But remember, these experiences are changeable. It is matter world. Never will any experience be constant in the matter world. So I need to be aware. So how do I create this distance between myself and the mind? By remembering again and again, I am not the creator of thoughts, feelings, and emotions, images, sensations. See, even the sensations in the body, right? Like for Meghna, in spite of knowing this, it took a while to really deeply understand. For example, little bit of stiffness in the neck, I would identify with it. Oh, my neck is like this. Okay, I'm going to have a bad day today. It's going to be a lot of exercises. I'm like, what? Wait a minute. I'm not these sensations. I'm not these thoughts that are being created in the mind. Mind will create thoughts related to the sensations. And then soon our entire day gets consumed by those thoughts and feelings. My neck, my neck, my neck. I have to do something about it. Hope it's not bigger. That one sensation can create thousands of thoughts in a day. And we are so consumed by that one sensation. Entire day goes in it. Or I have not gotten, good food for days. I really need some good food. I've been feeling very cold. I need to do something. Let me go and buy some warm socks. Okay, that's also not helping. Maybe I need to do a change in the type of blanket. Maybe I need to get some sweaters. It goes on. It pulls us. The sensations, the feelings, they pull us completely. So important. The moment that neck disturbance come, okay, it's there, it's in the body. I still exist. My peace still exists. My peace is not something that gets interrupted because of this stiffness. My love doesn't get conditional because somebody yelled. My joy doesn't become limited because somebody didn't praise me. That is not me at all. My peace is stable. The Hindi word is ek ras, constant. There is no like, oh, I'm more peaceful now. Mind will say, man, today I was been very peaceful. The body has been good. All the people were good. I was good, very peaceful today. Tomorrow it will sit and cry. Oh, this headache. Oh, this person is constantly making noise. Oh, you were not so nice to others. You didn't do job well. No, soul's nature of peace is constant peace. It doesn't believe more peace, less peace means it's a commentary of the mind. So very, very important to disidentify with the thoughts and feelings. I'm just a space that is holding and observing all of this with detachment. So that constant peace can't be disturbed by the sensations, thoughts, and feelings. And soon you'll see, when I've practiced this, that sensation suddenly starts dying, that stiffness as if magically goes away. I didn't give it my attention. Even the thoughts and feelings associated with that stiffness as emerging, I didn't give it my attention. I said, okay, whatever, the body is always going through up and down. Thoughts are coming, fine, doesn't matter. My peace is not dependent on this neck. My love is not dependent on anything. My joy is not dependent on anything. Let there be excruciating pain in the body. My peace is not dependent on that sensation. I know I am a peaceful soul. The mind will start saying, no, no, Meghna, this is too much. How can you be even peaceful in this? That's fine. Let that mind create the thought. But I know myself as constant peace. Silence is my nature. So I observe the extreme pain, extreme good feeling, all of them with detachment. I welcome all the emotions and feelings. Come, stay here. None of you define me. The sensation don't define me. Thoughts and feelings don't define me. All right. That is what we wanted to cover. Any last minute thoughts or questions? How can I maintain a harmonious environment without absorbing others' negative energy? This is the question. So, most important is to observe your mind, right? That is in response to the external situation, creating some thoughts. What are those thoughts of expectation? That here I am on spiritual path, trying to be very nice, kind, loveful, everything. Look at the people around me. Look at the people at work. Look at the people at home. Look at the people in elsewhere. Very difficult. Mind will say, mind's job is constant commentary. It is again to be awakened to the soul and its true nature. Soul doesn't need silence to feel its silence. Everybody can be yelling. I can observe the mind. Mind will say, look at this world. Everybody is so mean. Everybody is so quarreling type. I can watch every noise outside and the noise inside by anchoring to my true nature. Reference point is God. I am silent. And you will see that that method will soon release its essence. You will come up with another right thought to maybe say something to that environment, people in that environment, or you might think there is no point saying anything. My peace will transform everything outside. I don't need to say anything. So, indeed, it comes back again and again to practicing who you are. And another point in general is we all know that when there is extreme cold weather, we need to take out jackets, blankets, everything. We can't say, why is it so cold? I'm trying to stay warm. Why is it always cold? You have to protect yourself. Same thing spiritually. If I sit and keep thinking, why are people like this? How can I be spiritually good? You are good. Your nature is goodness. Your nature is silence. It requires conviction, and that conviction will develop as you practice and experiment with this idea of who you are. Don't listen to the mind, the scripted mind. Listen to the knowledge of who you are and practice that. All right, if you have a moment, we will take a minute of silence with meditation. Request you to join me. I am eternal and imperishable. I don't need support of anything to exist. My existence automatically generates peace, generates love, generates joy. My true nature. I don't need to do anything. All I need is conviction in my truth and awareness of my truth. And that truth will pervade itself into everything that is around me. It will create a spiritual atmosphere. And as I anchor to my non-dual, constant personality, the non-dual script in the mind will change. And the mind will only then start generating beautiful thoughts, beautiful feelings, beautiful emotions. After all, I am so beautiful, such a rich creation. Thank you all for joining me today. Hope you have a wonderful week ahead. See you all next week for the last class on Heal Thyself. Take care, everyone.